All right, I'm on air. Great. Hi, everyone. It's Ngozi. I'm really excited for this. This is my first time ever using Google Hangout or ever doing an office hour, so this is really exciting. I'm really happy that we have some people who've already started kind of putting their questions down below in the comment section, and I'm here for you all. So pretty much just kind of a few rules of how this kind of goes. When you click the video, there's a way that you can actually ask the questions inside the video versus outside in the comment section. That way, it'll pop up on my screen and I can choose to go from there. So I am going to get right to it and start seeing what questions we have. Let's see. Oh man, it's so bright in here. Let's see. Okay, so, oh, it's bright. Okay, the first question is, are there any discount codes or coupons that we can use towards our purchase? And this is from Tanista. All right. So I don't know if you can see me, but it just got really bright in here. Okay, so Tanisa, right now we don't have any discount codes or coupons that you can use. We've done a sale before in the past, and we're considering doing one again because we got so many great responses from that. So just stay tuned, and we'll probably do one close to the holiday time. But in terms of like consistent discount codes, we don't have any that we offer throughout the year. So I would say stay tuned and see what's coming up. Let's see. It seems as if most of the questions are posted in the, let's see, comment section. So I'm going to try to get to that. Even though I cannot see. Oh man, I can't see all the questions, and it says that there's like 20 something of them. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I need to close this blind. Okay, that makes life so much easier. I was like, I can't see anyone. Okay, let's see. So I see another question here. It says, hi Ngozi, can this hair be colored? From Alex. Yes, Alex, the hair can be colored. Heat-free hair is 100% virgin hair. It's not been processed, no chemical processing. So you can definitely color it. However, I always tell people that if you're going to color the hair, that you want to get a professional to do it, number one, simply because, especially if you're gonna bleach it or if you're gonna lift it to get lighter, because harsh chemicals can ultimately ruin the curl pattern or affect the curl pattern, and you want to have someone do it who understands how those chemicals work. Or if you're going to do it at home, then I would suggest that you use, maybe reserve that for when you do like darker colors like black or brown or auburn, and to make sure that you do it before you install the hair. Because sometimes we have people who are like, oh my God, I colored it at home, and it's either doing something weird at the root, or when you take it out, you're like, why are my fingernails black? And a lot of times if you color it before you, if you color it after it's on your head, sometimes the color actually gets trapped inside the weft, and that can make it not so great in terms of tangling, in terms of just drying out the hair. So I always say to try to do it beforehand, and try to get a professional to do it. So, okay, thanks for asking, Alex. So I'm done with that. Let's see, what else? I have It's weird because I can see that there are 20-something questions, but I can't see the questions. Let me see. All right, so we're here. Okay, so all the questions seem to have posted down here in the question. Oh, man. Okay, let me see. I'll go through it here instead. Hopefully you guys can still see me. G. Johnson said, what is the best way to take care of your hair, of this hair? So the most basic answer would be you take care of heat-free hair the way you would your normal hair, your natural hair, in terms of moisture, in terms of twisting it at night, keeping up with clarifying and conditioning. That's as basic of an answer as I can give you. But in terms of the specifics, we have the videos that are available on Heat Free TV where I kind of go through each collection and what I would use for each of those. But for the most part, the general thing is for curls, curl definition and getting it to, really working through it to get the curls to pop, or twisting it at night to keep it separated. For coils, similar to for curls, a lot of people want the definition, so I kind of show you how to work in product to get that. For kinks, it's more so about moisture and just keeping it hydrated, and also twisting it at night and separating it. Sometimes I do the pineappling. If I don't want to twist it all the time, sometimes I'll just do the, put it up in a pineapple. I don't wash it every week. Sometimes it'll be every couple weeks I'll wash it, but I do make sure that I clarify. So I do use I think it's like Paul Mitchell's Tea Tree Shampoo, and that's one that really gets in there good and really kind of clarifies the hair, especially if you're putting product in it every day. You want to do that so that it's clean before you condition it. So that's good. So we have, okay, Rhonda Alexander. She said, hello, I'm excited for the Office Hours broadcast. I would like to know the best products for moisture that don't cause buildup, plus what exactly does 4C mean? I would also like to know if you're coming to Chicago anytime soon. This is a long one. In Chicago anytime soon, what else? I don't see the rest of the question. So I'm guessing the rest of the question was, if not, do you know anybody in Chicago that can install the hair maybe? But I'll answer the first two first. I would like to know the best products for moisture that doesn't cause buildup. So, and what does 4C hair mean? In terms of 4C hair, so these kind of natural hair typing numbers and letters that we've all kind of become accustomed to now were things that were created to make it easier for us to identify our hair type. So if you're looking at someone who's 4C, you're looking at, kinkier textures. So girls with textures of hair that are on the coarser side, that have a Z pattern curl texture, curl shape versus an S curl, and it tends to be springier and have more shrinkage. So, and kind of cotton ball-like in texture. So something like our For Kinks collection is more of a 4C hair. You can't tell, but I'm 4C, and I pretty much have a lot of shrinkage with my hair. So my hair is really long, but then when I wash it, it's really, really short, and it's very, very kinky. So in terms of product that doesn't cause build-up, that gives great moisture. If you're referring to for 4C hair types, I love Commit Biologics Amla and Olive Heavy Cream. Like, that thing is the business. Like, it really, really hydrates my hair, and I've had great success with it on our For Kinks collection as well. So that's why we suggest it on the care instructions, because it doesn't, like, sometimes products that have a lot of shea butter in them can be really, really heavy, and then it sits on the hair. But for some reason, this one, even if it initially sits on it, it eventually penetrates the hair shaft, and you can feel the moisture much later. Am I coming to Chicago anytime soon? I don't know. Maybe, you know. Do you want us to come to Chicago? I don't know. We haven't really gotten too much of a buzz for us to come to Chicago, but nothing's off the table with that. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. Okay, she said that she describes her hair as a Frederick Douglass special. Great, all right. Is this hair, let me see. Tanista Stevenson said, is this hair 100% human hair or is it a synthetic hair mix? We do not have any synthetic hair in heat-free hair. Heat-free hair is 100% human hair. And not even just 100% human, 100% unprocessed hair. So that was something that was really, really big for me to make sure that if we're calling this virgin hair, it's really virgin hair. It hasn't had any chemical processing to it, and it's not mixed with any other kind of grade of human hair or any synthetic hair at all. So that's something I can confidently say about heat-free hair. Thanks for asking, Tanista. Who's next? We have, let me see. Angelic Scribe said, what suggestions do you have for mature hair conditioning? I actually don't know if I understand the question. Is it mature as in, Angelic, I think mature hair conditioning. I would say that if you're referring to mature in terms of age, I know sometimes a lot of my clients who are older, their hair tends to dry out more. So conditioning more is definitely important, especially as gray hair starts to come in, simply because the gray hairs, when they grow out, they are, it's like a little bit more brittle and harder than some of the other hair on your head. So a lot of my clients in my studio that are more mature or graying, they are those clients I suggest condition their hair at least once a week, and not just like co-wash, but deep condition their hair at least once a week. I hope that was what you were asking. All right, we have another question from, is this Amanda again? Okay, Amanda said, what is the best detangling product or detangling method you can recommend based on your experience with 4C hair? There's so many. Well, with 4C hair, the biggest thing with detangling is to take your time. It gets so frustrating sometimes, especially when you know you have hair and it shrinks up and you're like, why is it so small? And you want to just literally comb through it and rip it out, and then you look in the sink and you're like, how did all my hair fall on the floor? So the big thing I always tell people is to take your time. You don't want to just rip through it. So sometimes with my hair and detangling, it can take me hours to do it. Like, it's something that I can literally spend 4 to 5 hours to detangle, simply because I want to keep my length, keep the hair on my head. So sometimes it's more so about how do I retain this hair and not lose it in the process of detangling. So what I'll do is I will literally go through and first I'll finger detangle with conditioner in my hair. I'll go through and find a conditioner that has really good slip, and I'll finger detangle piece by piece and break it apart. If I don't use conditioner, a good product that I really love, it's by Beautiful Textures, and it's like their Tangle Taming Leave-In Conditioner. That thing, for some reason, you put it on your hair and it's just it just slips right through. So that I absolutely love. So I use that sometimes if I don't feel like going through and doing the whole wetting my hair, conditioning, separating thing. One more thing about that, I wouldn't wet my hair, put conditioner on it, and separate right after taking out a weave without separating the dirt clods and all that first, because what that does is it invites the moisture to lock itself inside of where the hair has kind of bunched together. So if it's like a dirt clod or tangling, and you haven't detangled your hair first, wetting it and putting conditioner on it sometimes can create a further tangling, in some cases dreadlocking of your real hair. So in that case, that's when I would use the Tangle Taming Leave-In Conditioner, or another good detangling spray. I used to use that black vanilla leave-in conditioner from Carol's Daughter. I would spray that at the root and break it apart at the root first before going through and taking a wide tooth comb, combing it, then doing the conditioner, combing it, washing it out, shampooing it, conditioning it again. So those are my tips for 4C hair and how to detangle based on my experiences. All right, so we have Veronica said, what is the longest you'd recommend someone keeping in their heat-free hair installed? That is a really good question. It varies. I would say that no more than 3 months. I have clients who have come back to me at month 6 and they're like, oh, my weave is still in. And I'm like, why? That's really, really bad for your hair underneath. So I would say a healthy time period to maintain your hair underneath is 8 to 12 weeks. So if you're the kind of person who like your scalp needs oxygen, like if you don't get it, it will be itching and breaking, your hair will be breaking underneath, then I would say 8 weeks is solid. And then of course your hair will still be good and you can always wash your hair, reuse it, and then put it in for another 8 weeks. But if you can go the extra mile, like my hair can go the extra mile, I always do like 2.5 to 3 months. And then after that, I give myself a little break. And I'll wear like a wig or something before I do my next install. Thanks, Veronica. Let's see. All right, I am gonna go back to this other page because I feel like there were some people asking stuff that I didn't get to see. Okay. Okay, Amber Dickerson said, hey, I have hair that's 4A, 4B. Can I get 24-inch for curls, clip-ins to match? Will it look good? Should I wet my hair? Can you swim in the clip-ins? So for Amber, I'd have to see your hair to be able to really say that, but and you can send us a picture at the customercare@heatfreehair.com. But generally speaking, if your hair is 4B, 4A, like on the 4A, 4B side, it should be able to blend fine with for curls. It's just a matter of how the stylist, what they put in your hair to get your curls to actually be defined and how they smooth your edges down so it's not looking like a little afro and then something curly behind it. So it really just depends on how it's done. But in terms of swimming with the clip-ins, it depends on where you're swimming. So number one, if you're doing just a regular pool water, chlorine, I necessarily wouldn't do it, but you can. It's just that it's drying, and afterwards I would remove the clip-ins immediately, shampoo my hair, clarify it, deep condition it, and then go from there. If it's ocean salt water, I am like completely against it. I've had some really terrible experiences with not just heat-free hair, but just hair in general in the ocean, and how it tends to create an environment for strange forms of matting, like really, really, really getting in there and dreadlocking. And that's I've seen it with straight hair, I've seen it with kinky curly hair, with heat-free hair, I've seen it with real hair. So I would say that if it's wearing clip-ins in the ocean, I wouldn't, especially since the weft is going to be your hair is going to be in between it. So you're creating somewhat of an environment for your hair to get matted with that, and so, or webbed in with that. So what you would hate to have to do is figure out how to pry the clip-in out of your hair because of salt water and all that tangling. So I'd avoid it. Unless you wear some cap. Let's see. She said, will we be coming to Indiana anytime soon? This is the first request for Indiana I've actually heard. So I don't know. Maybe, Tanista. I don't know. I haven't heard. No one's really asked us, but I mean, let us know what's in Indiana. Maybe we'll come. Let us know. Let's see. Oh no, did I mess it up? I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on, I think I messed this up. Oh Lord. One second. Oh gosh. Veronica, I think I messed this thing up. I think I logged out, or did I? You guys have to excuse me. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not really familiar with how to use Macs. Am I doing this right? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna call my friend to see if I am doing this right. Thank you all for your patience, if you can still see me. Oh gosh, I'm back. Okay, I'm still here. Never mind. I was like, what did I do wrong? I'm still here. Okay, great. Great. So you guys can still see me. That's good. I was like, I don't know what's happening. All right, so the next question. So I'm done with Tanista. That's great. So here we have another question from Alex. She says, how often should I wash the hair after I install it? All right, so it depends. Everything always depends. I would say number one, it depends on how often you feel like your scalp needs to be washed. So some people, like I said earlier, who feel like my scalp is dry, oh, okay, there's a girl peeking behind me. Okay, some people are just like, my scalp is dry. I need access to it. I need to be able to moisturize my scalp. And as we all know, water is the best form of moisture. So some people have to wash their hair more often just because they need to get in between the tracks and get in the onto their scalp. In terms of how often do I think is necessary, I would say every 2 to 3 weeks, just because you want to get rid of any product that you have in the hair. Conditioner always bounces the curls right back. So getting a really, really good conditioning treatment on the hair and working that through with the clumping methods that I show you all on Heat Free TV is great for the bounce back and the longevity and the lifetime of the hair. And then also just being able to have, like I said, cleaning inside the weave with an applicator bottle. You can dilute it with water and get in there and just be able to get into your actual scalp. So I would say 2 to 3 weeks is a pretty good time span in terms of washing. Thank you, Alex. Let's see. Oh, she said, we see you. Thanks, Rhonda. Appreciate it. I was like, I don't think they see me, and I don't understand how to use this, but it's great. This is my first time, so thanks for bearing with me. All right. This is, Rasha said she can see me as well. Thank you, guys. Okay, so Tanisa again said, I have really thick, short 4C hair, and I am wondering if I should use clip-ins or should I use the weft with my hair being so short. So I would say that clip-ins can be really good, especially if you have 4C hair, because they tend to be more secure with 4C hair. It can be really good if your hair is short, especially because we have these two pieces that are about 1 inch to 2 inches long that can get really, really close up on your hair, and that way your leave out is like so small that you don't really have to worry about blending. But with clip-ins, you're not really getting like the growth benefits of having your hair in a protective style such as a weave. So if you're just looking for extra length, I would say why not, you can do the clip-ins and maybe twist your hair before you do it to stretch it out a little bit. If you were to do a weave with your hair being short, you have to be careful just to make sure that whoever's doing it is gentle, because a lot of times with shorter, really, really thick hair, it's easy to pull it really tight just for the sake of catching it. And that's when you have people with follicle damage or people who the weave ends up being counterproductive. So instead of getting the growth benefits out of it, you're experiencing breakage. So I would say just kind of weigh your options, and if you're just looking for something temporary, just for a little added length, I would go with the clip-ins, and maybe only do like 16-inch clip-ins so that it's not such a dramatic length drop. Okay, so Amanda said, how do I get my hair to grow past my shoulders? It has been a little past my shoulders stretched for the past year. How do I get those split ends? How do I get past those split ends and single strand knots? So this is a question that we get often in my studio, because a lot of people are just like, oh, you know, my hair won't grow past here and that's where it's gonna stop. And I would say that there is no limit to how long our hair can grow. You know, hair growth is inevitable, so it's going to grow. The biggest thing is just hair retention and keeping the hair that you currently have, you know, on your head and not losing it. And as you said, with single strand knots and split ends, it can be an issue, but I would say just keep up with cutting those split ends and keep up with protective styling and not having those ends exposed. Because a lot of times what happens once your hair reaches shoulder length, a lot of times it's dying from the ends simply because of just wear and tear from it brushing on our shirts or it being out and exposed, and we're not giving it as much care. Or sometimes even we'll be moisturizing. And I've noticed with myself, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna moisturize up here. And by the time I get to the end, it's like, you know, my focus is not there. Or with the protective styles, I may twist it to a certain point, but not really focus on tucking the ends underneath. So for me, the longest my hair has ever been in life was probably close to bra strap length, and that was purely from protective styling and me keeping my hair tucked away. But the minute I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear this thing out and I'm gonna wear it long and straight, I did experience breakage because it was constantly rubbing against different fibers and different materials, or I wasn't paying as much attention to it. So I would say focus on protecting your ends, focus on protecting your hair, and just staying healthy internally, because regardless, your hair is going to grow. All right, so I have time for a few more. Let me see, I think this one. So a few people are still asking on the comment section, so let me see. Okay, we have L. Johnson said, what do you currently have installed? Because it is beautiful. Well, thank you. I currently have, this is the For Curls collection in lengths 20 and I believe 22-inch in the back. I have about 2.5 to 3 bundles in, and I just I blew it out and I curled it a little bit, and then I brushed it out and twisted it and brushed it out again just to get the definition that you're seeing now. But yeah, that's that. Thanks for the comment. Let's see. Someone else said, let's see. Where do I purchase the hair at? That can be purchased solely online. For right now, our hair can only be purchased at heatfreehair.com. So I think the link should be below here somewhere, but if not, it's just www.heatfreehair.com. Okay. Renee said, when did you start your natural hair journey and the idea to do protective styling in conjunction with the Heat Free Hair product? I've been natural for about 11 years now. It was something that I became on accident. I never was like, oh, I want to be natural. My hair just didn't do well with perms. It was just one day I, um, I just noticed that after a while, I stopped perming my hair just because it was so thin and it looked crazy. And after a while, I just noticed that it would all just start falling off. And sometimes I'd walk around and just there'd be chunks of hair behind me. And I'm like, oh my God, my hair is falling out. So I decided to start doing weaves at the time. I think back then I was in hair school and I was like, oh, let's experiment, let's do some weaves. And I just didn't want to have to touch my hair. So for a solid year, I just weaved my hair up back to back for a year. I would cut the ends a little bit here and there. And after about 12 months, I took it out and I was like, my God, when did my hair get this long? Like, it was so long. It grew like 9 inches or even more than that, minus the cutting. And I was like, wow, this protective styling thing, there's something to say about that. So that was really when I decided that, okay, protective styling is an important part to the natural hair journey. So then kind of, I was working in salons. I worked for Carol's Daughter for a little bit. I was doing hair, but, and still kind of preaching that protective style message, let's put your hair in a weave and have it grow while you can still rock this hairstyle. And eventually I started getting a lot of clients that were like, oh, well, I want it to blend, but I want to be natural. So what do we have to do to my hair to get it to look like that? And I was like, oh, well, we can straighten your hair or we can perm your edges and, get it to blend with the straight hair that was the only option at the time. And after a while, I felt like I was kind of being a hypocrite because I'm like, here I am preaching to them about healthy hair and preaching this healthy hair message, yet all of their hair is pretty much damaged from the heat I put on it in the front, but then the back is this beautiful bush from it being protected. So I was like, there has to be a way for these women to go heat free and still use weaves as their protective style of choice. So that's where the whole idea for I'm going to start this heat-free hair movement came from. So that was that. Thanks for asking. Let's see. All right, so someone just asked, what would you tell other young women who wanted to start a business? I would say go for it. Go for it. But no, I would say, number one, do your research on what kind of business you want to go into and kind of define what you want. Figure out, do I want to do this because it's the hot thing to do? Is it because it's I want it for money, or it's cool, or am I passionate about this? Is this something that drives me and excites me? And once you determine if that is the motivator, then I would say the next step is to figure out your strategy. So if you are currently working a job and you want to go into entrepreneurship full time, then you have to ask yourself, okay, is this something that can I just leave my job right now? What will suffer if I do? Or do I have to do both until things are going well enough for me in my business venture to go on to that? So the biggest thing is just that, define what you want, get excited about it, get a burning desire for its achievement, and really just be positive and project positive thoughts. Because a lot of times business is not easy. Number one, it's not easy. And so you're going to need to have that positive mindset to be able to handle the blows and the things that come your way. And you're going to have to be focused too, and just know that if this is something that you really want, then you deserve to have it, as long as you believe that you deserve to have it. So I would say just focus on writing it down. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a full out business plan. I know a lot of people say that you have to have that, but for me, it was just like, I think I really want this to work out. Great. I really, really want this to work out. And it was like, okay, now what do I have to do? Let me just keep projecting these positive thoughts. Let me, save my money so I can not have to take a business loan or not have to look for investors. Let me figure out where to go next. So a lot of it is your mindset. A lot of it is the people who you keep around you, because you're going to need those cheerleaders who are like, you got this, girl, like you can do it. And then you also have to just, be mindful of who you tell your visions to, because not everybody is positive and not everybody wants to see you successful. So that's the advice I would give. All right. Aw, thanks, Tanista. She said, I appreciate your advice. Keep up the great work. All right. So Danielle Ponder. Let me see. I see 4 different questions here. Let me see, which one should I answer? Okay. So Danielle Ponder wants to know, where does heat for hair come from and how is it made? So I'll focus more, I'll say the how is it made part first, simply because this is something that I take really seriously, because a lot of people don't know this about me. I studied hair manufacturing technology in China. I lived there for a little bit, about a year and a half ago. And through that experience, I was really just exposed to all the different I thought I knew hair until I went to manufacturing school to really learn how to make hair. And it also made me, not necessarily focus on, the origin, because the most important thing for me was technology and how to create these textures so that we aren't compromising the integrity of the hair and using chemicals on it. We aren't I guess, for example, in terms of going out there and saying, okay, what is the origin of the hair? A lot of times the biggest thing for me was sourcing the hair based on its texture. So it didn't necessarily matter where the person was from. It's more so about, the coarseness of their hair. And can I take this coarse person's hair and use the technology, whether it's steaming technology without using chemicals that a lot of people use when they steam, just to be able to create the curl pattern and go from there. So a lot of the stuff that you all see with heat-free hair and the textures is more so based on the technology that we've used to create it, and sourcing donors based on the coarseness of their hair and not their origin. Hope that answered your question, Danielle. I'm not sure if it did. She said, who's this? Okay. Rasha said, so I'm thinking about the For Curls clip-ins for my next purchase. Would I need to take it out every night? Do you prefer clip-ins or wefted hair? I'm not worried about growing my hair. I'm all about being cute. What is the easiest to manage? Yes, we are all about being cute. Me too. No, I would say that in terms of my preference between wefted hair and clip-ins, I prefer wefted hair because I'm big on protective styling. But if you're just looking for something cute and easy, clip-ins, it is. It is super easy to just, to not have to worry about, to have that access, the ability to access your hair, but to be able to say, okay, you know what? It's Friday. I want to be cute tonight. I want a little extra pizzazz. So I'm going to go through and just clip these little things in here, give me a little extra fullness, a little extra bounce, and go out for the night. So I think if that's your focus, because you said you're not really worried about hair growth per se, then I would say the clip-ins would be the better option for you. However, I am a fan of taking clip-ins out every night. There are some people who never take their clip-ins out and they just happen to stay there. But for me, I feel like because of how they're put in and your hair being in between them, I just feel like it's just a recipe for the rubbing against the weft and the combs, and moisture and tangling when you sweat or when the natural oils that your scalp produces. I feel like with clip-ins and them being in between your hair, it's easier for issues like tangling to happen. So I like to take it out, give your scalp a nice little massage, give it a little bit of moisture for the night, cover it with a satin bonnet or a satin scarf, go to sleep, wake up and do it again. But I would say if you have to leave it in, maybe 3 days. 3 days is solid. All right, what time is it? Let's see. Okay, I got about a few more minutes. let's see what we have here. Denise White, sorry, said, can you make large lace frontals, half wigs, so the hair from the crown to the nape can be left out? Okay, let me try to understand this one. Okay, you said large lace frontals. So lace frontal closures so that the crown to the nape can be left out. But you said half wigs, though. The half wigs is throwing me off. May need some clarification on this one, Denise, because when I think half wig, I think a half wig is going from the nape to the crown, so you're leaving out the front of your hair. Unless you're talking about a closure, which they do, I can make larger lace closures that can cover the front of your hair, so that the back of your, I don't know that I understand this question, but if you are asking about a large lace frontal closure, that is something that we can possibly custom make for you instead of, since we don't usually offer it. So yes, I hope that's what you're asking about. Okay, so we have Denise again. Sorry. She said, I'm a newbie with making my own wigs and I'm looking to use your hair for my next project. Would you be able to do a step-by-step tutorial on how you create a wig with the For Curls collection wefts? Wigs, I don't really make, I do make wigs, but not as much anymore. A lot of the wigs that we sell, I make them by machine. So we're able to turn them over a lot faster. So because we make the machine-made ones, I don't go back, I don't really do the handmade wigs anymore. So it would be hard to do a step-by-step tutorial on that. But I can definitely offer some tips. If you send us an email, I can offer some personal tips on how you can, that'll help you along that journey with making it. I see a question that just popped up that relates to that. It said, what type of cap should I use to make my wig? I wish I was in the studio right now because I have the caps in my hair studio. And I could just be like, this one. Man. So they're mesh. They're black mesh caps that I think Deluxe makes them. And I forgot who else makes them. And they're not the ones that are hard. A lot of the ones in the beauty supply store are like really, really hard. You want the ones that are softer and have elastane in them so they stretch a little bit. I use that for full cap, and if I want to make my own U part, I use that as well. And I just stitch really, really close to make a small U and then cut it out at the end. If you send me an email, Summer, if you send us an email to customercare@heatfreehair.com, I'll send you a picture, or the girls will send you a picture of the actual wig cap to use. So, yeah. Let's see. A few other questions are asked on the comment section, so let me go back there. Oh my goodness, so let's see. Anagam Udebua said, any advice on how to detangle 4C hair quickly on wash day? And how can I avoid breakage while detangling? Oh, this is my little cousin. Okay. And I got detangling quickly. No, not necessarily. Especially if you're 4C, and I've seen your hair, so it's thick. You want to take your time, because if you don't want to lose a lot of hair, you want to take your time. However, there are things that you can do prior to detangling your hair that will make the process quicker. So if you're detangling your hair from a short, condensed state, it's going to be a lot harder, or from just taking out a protective style like braids or a twist. There's no quick way to do that. There are things that can help you, like conditioner and the products we talked about earlier. But if you're taking your hair out from something like a stretched style, so like for me, sometimes I wear my hair I wear wigs, and when I take the wig off underneath, I have my hair threaded in like African threading, which really stretches my hair out. And for that, it's a lot easier for me to detangle with that because my hair is stretched out instead of it being so tightly compact and curled together. So I would say that if it's something like you're taking a twist out, it should be much easier to detangle with the product in a wide tooth comb or finger detangling at that point than it would be if it was really densely packed together and small. So, yes. Thanks for asking, Anagam. What else? We have, can you make larger lace? Okay, so that's the same question. Okay, so Monina M said, I have medium length locks and I would like to wear one of the wigs or do a sew-in. How many packs do you suggest for the look you have now? Also, what kind of hair are you using now and how do you create this look? So right now I have For Curls, the For Curls collection in, and I have about 3 bundles in, and this is something that I created by blow drying the hair, curl wanding it, fluffing it out, twisting it, and then fluffing it out again. For someone with locks, I would probably go the wig route over the sew-in route just because it's with the well, it depends. You said medium length, so because I'm thinking about bulk. Like I know with shorter locks, you can braid them down and not have it bulk up underneath. With medium length to longer locks, you have to worry about it creating a bulky base, and that's a little bit harder to have for it to appear natural when you are wearing a weave. But if you were to do a wig, then you can order a larger cap. So for example, with our full cap wigs, they come in, you know, small, medium, large cap. So if you wanted to do like a For Kinks Empress wig, you could do it full cap in like a large and get a large cap. And that way, when you twist your hair down, even if you were to take it and put it in a ponytail in the back, which some of my clients with locks do, you take it, do a flat twist with your locks, put it in a ponytail in the back, and then put the wig over it, and just use really secure jumbo bobby pins. You can do that, and that works out fine. And no one, unless you're like flipping under, no one really can tell, and it just, you know, you have that different look. It's a little trickier with the weave, unless you have, unless they were shorter and you can braid them down. So I would opt for the wig and go with a larger cap size. That's a great question, though. I know a lot of people ask about locks. Let's see. Who else is asking? All right, I believe I answered that question with her. So anyone else? I think that's it. Oh, it's been fun. Let's see. All right, yeah, that's almost 4 o'clock. So if we don't have any more questions, I think that's about it. Thank you all so much. Okay, Tanisa, let me see. One more. Do your wigs come with a natural part? Let me see if I understand what you're trying to say. Do they come with a natural part, meaning a U part? If that's what if you mean a U part, then yes, we have U parts in all 3 collections and full caps. But yeah, so a natural part where you can leave your own natural hair out, and if that, I think that's what you're asking, then yes, our wigs do come with a natural part. If you're asking about does it come with a lace part, no, that's not something that we have, but it's something that maybe can be custom made for you. So, thank you. And I think that's it. Okay, well, thank you ladies so much for tuning in. This has been an interesting experience. It's been great so far. I feel like it's weird because you guys can see me, but I can't see you. So I'm like, who am I talking to? But for everyone who did submit questions, I really appreciate it. I think that I hope I was able to answer all of your questions. And if not, then our customer care team, they are amazing as well. And you can email them at customercare@heatfreehair.com. And anything that was not answered today, we can definitely get those answers over to you. So stay tuned for the next one. I'm not sure when, but we will have more of these just so that you guys can interact and we can interact and you can ask me questions directly. So thanks, ladies. Bye.